Fear and anxiety are two of the most fundamental experiences that shape the human mind, yet they often remain misunderstood. They linger in the shadows of our consciousness, guiding our behaviors, influencing our decisions, and at times holding us back from living the lives we truly desire. To understand fear and anxiety, we must first look deeply into their origins, their purpose, and how they manifest in the complexity of our inner world. The dark side of the mind is not necessarily evil, but it is a realm that carries weight, mystery, and power. Fear and anxiety dwell there, waiting to surface in moments when we least expect them, sometimes to protect us and other times to overwhelm us. Fear is one of the oldest survival mechanisms we possess. From the earliest days of human existence, fear kept our ancestors alive. The rustle of leaves could have signaled a predator, the dark cave might have hidden danger, and the sudden cry of an animal could mean imminent attack. In those moments, fear was not an enemy, but an ally, preparing the body to react instantly. This reaction, known as the fight or flight response, involves the rapid release of stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These chemicals sharpen our senses, quicken our heart rate, and prime our muscles for action. Fear in its primal form was never meant to paralyze us. It was designed to help us survive. Yet in modern life, most of us no longer face wild predators or life or death battles in the wilderness. Our threats are more psychological, social, and emotional. We fear failure, rejection, judgment, or loss. Anxiety, in this sense, is the cousin of fear. It often arises not in response to immediate danger, but in anticipation of something that might happen in the future. Anxiety is the mind's way of scanning the horizon, imagining worst-case scenarios, and preparing for outcomes that may never come to pass. While fear is anchored in the present, anxiety stretches into the unknown. Both, however, share the ability to cast shadows over our lives. To truly grasp the power of fear and anxiety, it is important to understand how deeply they can infiltrate the subconscious. Much of what we feel is not consciously chosen. Our brains are wired to detect threat far more quickly than they detect safety. This bias toward negativity evolved as a way of ensuring survival, but in our everyday reality, it often creates unnecessary suffering. For instance, a student might feel intense anxiety before an exam, imagining failure, embarrassment, or disappointing others. The body reacts as though a predator is near, even though the true danger is only the possibility of poor performance. The mind cannot always distinguish between physical threats and imagined ones, and so the body responds the same way. Fear and anxiety also shape identity. People who have lived through trauma may carry heightened levels of fear for years afterward. A child who grew up in a chaotic household might develop an anxious personality, always bracing for conflict or unpredictability. These emotional imprints become part of how we see the world and ourselves. The mind learns to expect danger, and even when no obvious threat exists, the body may still remain in a heightened state of alertness. This chronic state can erode mental health, leading to disorders such as generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, or phobias. But to think of fear and anxiety solely as enemies would be misleading. They also hold lessons and truths about our values and vulnerabilities. Fear often highlights what we care about most. If we fear losing someone, it is because they are deeply important to us. If we feel anxious about failing, it may reflect our desire to achieve or to be seen as competent. In this way, fear is a mirror, reflecting our deepest attachments and concerns. It tells us where our hearts lie, even if the experience of it feels heavy and uncomfortable. Still, the dark side of the mind does not reveal itself gently. Anxiety, especially when prolonged, can create cycles that are difficult to break. The more we worry, the more our body reacts, and the more our body reacts, the more we feel convinced that something must be wrong. This feedback loop strengthens the belief that danger is near, even when it is not. People with panic attacks often describe the terrifying sensation of their hearts racing, their breath shortening, and the feeling that they might die. Yet physiologically, the body is reacting to imagined danger rather than real threat. The dark side of the mind convinces us that the storm is real, even if it is only within. Society also plays a role in shaping how we experience fear and anxiety. Modern culture often glorifies productivity, success, and image, creating endless opportunities for comparison and self-doubt. Social media amplifies this effect, offering a constant stream of others' achievements, curated moments, and apparent perfection. The result is often anxiety about not being enough, not measuring up, or being left behind. Fear of missing out, fear of judgment, and fear of failure are magnified in a world where external validation has become currency. Yet even in this darkness, there is the potential for growth. As many psychologists and philosophers argue that confronting fear is one of the most powerful ways to grow as a human being. When we avoid fear, it expands. When we face it, it often shrinks. The process is not easy. It requires awareness, courage, and often the willingness to endure discomfort. But by entering into dialogue with our fear rather than running from it, we begin to understand it. Anxiety, too, when examined carefully, can reveal hidden beliefs and patterns that no longer serve us. It can teach us where we need healing, where we need to let go, and where we must build resilience. Personal. The dark side of the mind, then, is not a place to fear itself, but a place to explore with care. It is like a cave filled with shadows, mysterious and intimidating at first glance, but within it lie truths, treasures, and lessons that can reshape our understanding of ourselves. Fear and anxiety are part of being human. They are reminders of our vulnerability, but also of our capacity to adapt, to endure, and to transform. The goal is not to eliminate them, but to learn how to live with them, to integrate them, and to recognize the wisdom they sometimes hold. In every life, fear and anxiety will appear. They may come during moments of change, during transitions, or in the quiet hours of the night when the mind races through endless possibilities. They may arise in the face of real danger or imagined threats. But what defines us is not the presence of these emotions, but our response to them. Do we allow them to dominate and control us, or do we acknowledge them, breathe through them, and move forward despite them? This is the central challenge of navigating the dark side of the mind.